I started thinking about that, and then it was once I got into arguing with my siblings, and they brought that fact up, and I was like, what? They was talking about that like it was a good thing, like you can go wherever you want. They don't
Yes.
say anything to you, and I was like, what? Son, supernova duck.
Supernova Duck. I do like this. I'm glad I bought this though. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty chill with me. I got that off of Temu too. That shit's crazy. I was like, I got that for free. I was like, oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe not free. Maybe free's pushing. Maybe like $2.
It's still pretty good. It's still really good actually. That could make the run.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. It is Honest Hours Behind Himself, and today our guest JJ is on. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, it's a nice little painting hanging up there. You know, with the astronaut that's dunking the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Only thing I don't like about this painting, like, well, not painting, the whatever you want to call it, tapestry, whatever. The only thing I do not like about it is the fact that the sun is like small as hell. I mean, but then again, it's big ass astronaut, I guess. So, but I just wish it was a little bit bigger. I wish it took up this entire wall.
Oh snap! Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, if it was like extra like space around or whatever, you had like the lines going or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that would make it like just a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I do like it. Look like Rick and Morty with the background, all the clouds and stuff. I don't know why there's clouds in space, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. I see it. I see it. I can envision myself in the suit.
I appreciate that though, man. But let me ask you a question, man. How long have you been in the military?
I'm about to hit year 3 when August hits. So
Are
not that long, you know. Not that long. I'm still pretty inexperienced.
how do you like the military?
You know, that's a really bad question.
That's a bad question.
That is a terrible question. Because, I mean, we all know nobody likes babysitting adults.
Yeah.
And that's what the military is. You're just babysitting people who are probably older than you.
That is true. That is true. That is actually true. That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna
Hey,
lie.
you probably didn't hear it from me first. I guarantee someone else said it.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I feel like a drill sergeant said that in like AIT or something. What about what what do you think you have gained from being in the military? Like what have you learned that might help you when you get if you get out? What do you think you learn in the military that might help you when you get out? If you choose to stay in. I mean get out. Sorry.
With no hesitation, I can definitely say I've gained a lot more patience. Like patience that I didn't know I had. I've gained from being around these people. Because the hurry up and wait game, that's something you would not experience at a common job. We'd be able to just walk out, you know, go on a break or something like that. But here, you're kind of stuck in the situation. You got to be at that location with those people, regardless of if you want to or not. So, patience, that's what I've gained.
You gain patience. That's crazy. 'Cause I lost mine. I used to have a lot of patience. Now it's to the point where I'm sick and tired of seeing somebody face after 5 minutes.
I mean, yeah, I've gained more stress. I've definitely gained stress, but I've gained the ability to suffer in silence. So, I definitely have to say that's patience.
Will you be re-listening by any chance? Or not?
If by God's miracle, curse, whatever you want to call it, that I magically have a child or children, re-enlisting might actually happen. But as of now, because for single soldiers, it doesn't really offer enough for me to want to stay in.
Okay, what do you plan on doing when you get out?
When I get out,
If you plan on doing anything at all.
you know, I'm gonna just go work at Walmart for a bit, you know, because I don't want to just instantly go straight into continuing my career like the year that I got out, but I will be doing the applications and everything. But what I'm gonna do is, since I'm already doing that, trying to put it on hold to where like I'm not instantly getting out of a stressful environment and then going straight into another stressful environment, because you gotta realize that a lot of stuff that you deal with in the military, you're gonna still deal with that and possibly worse, depending on who hired you and where you work at and the people you work with. So just because you got out of a situation in the military doesn't mean you're not gonna go back into a situation that's similar to that. So you have to gotta realize you gotta give yourself a break for a little bit. So first year, probably not working. Year after that, yeah, I've got jobs lined up for that. But if you want to go into detail, I said Walmart because there's people at Walmart trying to hire me, and I know people, so I can do that. So that's the simple answer, and that's the stereotypical soldier gets out and works at Walmart. But to really give you an exact, appropriate location of where I'll be working at, probably somewhere in North Dakota is what I'm gonna say. But there's a couple of jobs that I'm looking at. I'm just not sure which one I want to work at more. But it's kind of like they've pretty much said, yeah, it's okay, you can work here.
If you don't mind me asking, why North Dakota out of everywhere?
North Dakota is where my family does not want to go. That's why I chose North Dakota. Because I don't want to go back to being around my family or having to live near my family. I'm cool with visiting my family, but living with my family is a problem. And when you're closer to your family, especially just getting out the military, the first thing they do is they ask you for help because they know that you're capable to help them and all that stuff. So, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure by putting yourself in that type of situation. If you look at it like this. One of the reasons why I joined the military was to get away from my family. So, the last thing I want to do is move somewhere that's close to my family. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you joined. That's the only reason why you joined the military?
Oh, no. That was on my bucket list. That was on my to-do list. And COVID hit, and then there was a lot of jobs laying people off. And then if I wanted to do schooling, I'd have to be doing homeschooling. And homeschooling means I have to be with my parents and all that stuff, because if they're laying people off of work, it's harder to work places. And if you got to live with your parents, you're stuck with your family while worrying about studying and all that. I have siblings that like to be petty for no reason, like to start fights and everything. So, it'd be a lot harder with homeschooling for me personally. They could say, yeah, well, why don't you go to a neighborhood or something like that? Yeah, I could do that, but I wouldn't feel comfortable always going to my neighbor's house to study for schoolwork. And then the last thing I want to do is be driving my parents' vehicle to the library, because they're going to be asking me for gas money. And that goes back to square one, where I'm going to work at if people getting laid off. So, yeah. It just seemed like it was the perfect time to just join the military anyway, since I was like, I'm getting closer to that age where they don't want to pull you into the military because you're getting a little too old for it or something like that. Or maybe I might have health issues later on when I get older to where I won't be able to even pass the PT test and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's on my bucket list, and this is the best time to do it, so I'll go ahead and do it.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'll see if I want to re-enlist or not. But it's better to go ahead and get that experience with stuff that you aren't sure you want to do in life, rather than not try it and regret not ever doing it.
That's a good way to put it. Now, I know this. People that are watching this, they don't know this, but you went to college before you joined the military. If you don't mind me asking, what did you go to college for?
I actually went to college for graphic design. So, cause I wasn't one of those people that was like, I want to like just play games for a living. I was like, I want to work with making games, and I was like into art and everything. People were saying, you're not the worst artist, not the best artist either, but you're good enough to where you're able to draw stuff that people actually would enjoy. And I was like, I feel like I have ideas for the way some games could be made and all that stuff. Especially when at the time I was at a young age, I was doing like beta testing and stuff, doing like reviews, surveys for games, playing, actually getting paid for it. Yes, that's a real thing, beta testing, and that really pushed me towards doing graphic design because there's a lot of different quote unquote genres of making a game, and I feel like graphic design was more on the hands-on for the art and everything. So that's why I chose that. But realistically, even if you say graphic design was what you were trying to do, you could be doing a whole nother thing like computer science and somehow get hired for doing graphic design. So I'll just say computers. That's pretty much it.
Okay, real quick, you said earlier you said that you're going to continue your career after the military, after that 1 year off. You said you're going to continue your career. You said you're going to continue your career in graphic design, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm less than 2 years away from getting the bachelor's for graphics. I'm like 1.5 years or something like that. Like 2 or 3 semesters. I pretty much did most of the hard stuff like the maths and all that, so it's not really that bad. I just want to make sure I pick a place I'm more comfortable with finishing my schooling for it. That's the term for it, schooling. Because I don't want to be trying to enroll in classes for school, and I'm in an environment where I don't really have the time to actually focus on it because of other uncontrollable situations that distract me from what I'm trying to do. For example, how it is in the military, you could be thinking that everything's all good. You sign for some classes, and then they pull you to do some job that keeps you away from actually getting the time to really study for those classes because of everything that you have to do for that job. Such as if they're telling me to get up at 6 o'clock, but then they randomly call me in at like 8 or something like that. I have to spend all my free time just resting and staying healthy, And if you're spending all of your time just resting, then what time do you really have for studying? It means that it's going to be like a pick and choose. Do you want to like fast track and make sure you get that degree faster, but potentially shorten your lifespan, or do you want to just take your health more seriously, focus on that first, and then when you feel more comfortable, then worry about actually studying. It's different for everybody. I'm not one of those people that can juggle multiple things. I have to focus on one thing at a time. So right now, if I feel like I'm stressing over my sleep, I'm gonna be focusing on sleep, and if I'm sleeping, then I don't really have time to study. Because I'm not one of those geniuses that can just memorize the book after just reading it. I have to go back and reread certain part to like really understand it and remember it.
When you were in college, what college did you go to?
I went to HINES Community College.
You went to HINES Community College?
Yes, I went to HINES Community College. HINES.
Oh, where is that at?
That is in it's in Mississippi. Actually, the one that I went to, HINES Community College, was it was in Utica, Mississippi, and that's a HBCU or whatever you want to call it. Pretty much the black college.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But HINES Community College is a black college.
HINDS. But yeah, it's still close to your name.
It's not the same. Never mind. I felt special for a second.
Hey, it's still, they say it like Heinz, but it's no, but it's a really good school. The one that I went to, I think it was called originally Utica Junior High, but so it's a history. The specific Hines that I went to has it's a good history. You actually learn your stuff there. The reason why that one specifically is a black college and the other ones aren't considered a black college is because that one was pretty much the father that owned it was passing away. He gave the rights to his children, his daughter and son, but they didn't really know what to do with it. So to keep the college running, because they weren't like experienced in keeping it going and all that stuff, they pretty much got help from HINES Community College. And so pretty much what they'll fund the college so that it could keep going on, but they had to change the name from Utica Junior High to HINES Community College. But at the same time, they're able to function as a separate college compared to where HINES is. So even though that HINES and the other HINES are, you know, same name and everything, they're two different schools. Yep.
They're two different colleges. Okay,
Yep.
It's not.
It's weird, right? Weird.
It's kind of strange. I'm sorry. Who is? I apologize, man. People are calling me, texting me, talking about the game. I'm not trying to play it right now, clearly. But I'm sorry. Moving on from that. Do you think? Well, not even do you think. What do you think about the place that you work at now? How do you feel about the place you work at now?
Man, I don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there. We all don't want to be there. So
Not at all.
why do you think everyone? Why would anyone be happy to be somewhere where nobody wants to be? I feel like a lot of uncontrollable factors. You know, we have our bosses have bosses, and our bosses tell them what to do. They don't have any say in what they're being told to do, just like we don't have any say in what they tell us to do. It's one of those little things where unless you have a lot of power, there's not much you can really change. The only thing I hate so much about it is that they put the it's like being a pawn on the chessboard. The king tells you how you're gonna die, where you're gonna die at, and everything, and you feel like it's a waste. Like, you know, you can do so much more. So if the pawn gets to the other side, the pawn can become one of the strongest pieces on the board. All you gotta do is get all the way across. But the king might not necessarily use you to get to that position. Instead, they might use you as self-sacrifice just so they can, you know, win the war or win the game of chess. And that's pretty much where you gotta put yourself. Pretty much we're seen as pawns. So some of us might get that treatment to where we can get to the other side and become a high position, where other pawns, they just get thrown away or discarded, which is that's it. But I mean, you gotta look at it like I mean, it's a purpose behind it, so it's not too bad. But because you're a pawn, you don't really get that information or anything. You just have to do whatever you're told. You don't get told why you're doing what you're doing. You just do it. And if you don't understand what your job is, then it's more frustrating. And a lot of times, there are times where you don't really understand why you're doing something. So I'm pretty sure everyone feels that same way. Even our bosses don't understand what they're doing or why they're doing it.
Do you feel as if that should change, or do you think it should stay the same how it is?
There's probably, I'm gonna be honest, unless you get to the top, you probably won't understand why it is the way it is. But I'm gonna assume that if it's been the way that it is for so long, and different people get into that position, and you have multiple different people get into that position, and then the result is being the same, then you have to realize that there's probably some bigger picture that you don't see until you get into that position, that you won't ever understand unless you want to stay in to reach that height. So it's kind of like, I don't think it'll ever change. But at the same time, I feel like if there was a better way, maybe it would have changed. So maybe this is the best way, but then again, maybe this is the worst way. You just won't ever know unless you stay in and do it yourself and get to that position of power.
Do Do you regret joining the military at all, or do you wish you did something else? Like, do you wish you finished like your bachelor for graphic design at school, or what do you wish, or what do you regret joining? Pretty much is what I'm asking.
I don't regret anything that I've done. Everything that I've done, I feel like I regret the decision. I regret everything, and I don't regret everything. I feel like if I didn't do it, I'd regret not doing it because I regret not having the information or understanding of that thing that I would have had done to understand it. The military is one of those things that you can have he said, she said, but since everybody's telling you so many different things, you have to do it yourself to understand what it is. And so I don't regret joining it, but I feel bad that I even wanted to join. That's all I'm saying. I regret wanting to join the military, but I don't regret actually joining it because I feel like had I grown up differently and I had a different mindset to where I just didn't want to join, I probably wouldn't have joined. But because it was on me that I wanted to even take the risk, I don't regret it. I would have regretted more not doing it since it was something that was in the back of my mind I wanted to do.
If you could change anything about the military, well, now that you've been in and you know how it goes, at least as if somebody of your rank, what would be one thing that you would change?
I would force everybody, regardless of what your rank is. I would force everybody to have a mandatory. You have to take a certain amount of hours for a class. I don't care what class it is. It has to be something the military pays for, and you have to take a certain amount of hours every month, like mandatory. I don't care if you want to do it. I don't care what you do, but you have to. And the reason why I would say that is because we have a lot of downtime, but if they tell you that you have to do that with the downtime, you can do it during work. So since it's mandatory, I would also say that you're allowed to do it during work. If you have a laptop or something like that you can bring in, you're allowed to bring it in specifically for that activity. But by the end of the month, you have to do a certain amount of hours for some type of class that the military pays for. That way, when you're one of those people that are getting out, even though you hated doing that schooling thing and all that stuff, you got something out the military that you could use when you get out. Regardless if you get kicked out, dishonorable, honorable, or just med board or whatever it is, that goes on your resume. And it makes it easier for you to get whatever job you're trying to get. Because I feel like the military can, it's not too much the military can do differently, but there are a lot of things in the military that the leaders should try to enforce more. But since it's not really in the regulation for some things, you can't really force people to do it.
Is it okay if I ask a personal question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the reasons why you said you joined, well, a bonus reason why you joined is because you would get away from your family. Why did you want to get away, if you don't mind me asking?
Because my family pulls me into their mess and I fix the problems. I am the middle child of six or seven siblings, pretty much. So for somehow, even the older or the younger siblings, they always come to me for an issue, and they want me to fix it. So what would happen is I got into a mindset where I was playing the father role for a lot of the siblings, but at the same time, they would go to their actual father whenever they didn't like what I was telling them to do. And their father would get mad at me and say, well, why wouldn't you come to me for it? But at the same time, if I came to them for it, they wouldn't take any action and would just yell at the siblings. So it was one of those things where it was like I would fix the problem, but at the same time, I would get punished for fixing the problem. But at the same time, here's the contradiction. If I don't try to assist them with the problem, I would get punished for not assisting with the problem. So if I don't assist with the problem, I get punished. And if I assist with the problem, I get punished. So the best thing I said to do was that I'll just erase myself from the problem. And then they'll figure out how to do it. And that's actually what happened. When I joined the military, all the problems that I used to fix for them, they were stressing over for a bit, but they figured out how to fix it because at some point I feel like I was put as a crutch, you know? I was like there, and because people knew I could fix it, they wanted me to always fix it. And I said, it's gonna come a time where I'm not gonna be there. So I put myself in a situation where I wasn't there, and then when I left, that was the actual time when they actually learned how to start fixing their problems and became more independent.
And you said you were the middle child. I know how it is being a middle child, considering the fact that I am one. And I just want to know, like, growing up as a middle child, other than the the example you just gave, how was growing up as a middle child?
It has its pros and cons. I mean, as the middle child, if I didn't like something, I could always blame the older child. But at the same time, if there was something that I wanted to do, I had to get the older child on my side to do it because it's kind of like how the military is, right? Whoever's been there the longest has the most say in something usually. I don't use my power or anything like that, but yeah, that's a real thing. Whoever's been there the longest has the most say. So the older child has the most say. So the parent always goes in the order of what does the oldest child want to do first, and then go in the order of they want to spoil the youngest child. But at the same time, if the oldest child disagrees with someone strongly enough, regardless of what the youngest child wanted, they're going with the oldest child. So you gotta have the oldest child on your side. It was like, when you think about it, it was like politics. Especially with multiple siblings, it's politics. You know the oldest has the most say in it, and sometimes you want to do stuff without the parent at certain ages, like go to the movies or something like that, and you need an escort that's not your parent to, go on your dates and everything. So that's why you get the older child to take you, so they can give you that privacy that your parents wouldn't give you if you want to go out to do stuff like that. So yeah, it was like politics. And then you have like the youngest child that is the more convincing towards, getting the parent to say yes for going out or getting a certain thing to eat or something like that. The youngest child is getting spoiled. You got to get them on your side so that they can get the parents to do what you want them to do. So when you finally start realizing that you got to get the oldest child and the youngest child on your side, you're in the middle, so you can kind of relate, because the youngest child, they look up to the oldest child, but the youngest never goes to the oldest because they feel too different from them. And the oldest child, they friends don't want to be around the youngest child, so the oldest child's always going to be away. With the middle child, your friend group is closer to the youngest and oldest, so you're kind of able to do more. And when you start seeing it from that perspective, depending on what you did as a middle child, you really had the best position in all of the siblings because you really ran stuff behind the scenes.
Being the middle child, you never felt as you were the scapegoat for some of the things that would go wrong for some things in your family?
Middle child will always have it the hardest. That's how it is, because the oldest child is getting ready to leave. They doing what they do. The youngest child's getting spoiled. The middle child, you don't really got nothing. You don't got nothing. All your stuff goes through the oldest and the youngest. That's how the middle child works. So if you're not on good terms with the other siblings, you kind of screwed. That's how it is.
This is kind of tough, I'm not gonna lie. Are you the oldest male in your family or no?
No, I'm not.
Not male, I'm sorry, that was...
No way, no.
Oldest child, out of all of your siblings, are you, do you have any older brothers, pretty much what I'm asking?
I have an older brother on my dad's side, not on my mom's side, though.
So this one?
Yeah.
Because I'm about to say, I am the middle child of three. Well, I guess you can count for. I got one on my dad's side, but I've only spoken to her twice in my lifetime. But I am the middle child of three, and I'm also the oldest male, because both of them, both of the older two siblings, they're both females, and I have a younger brother, so I feel as if everything is a lot more Yeah,
I understand, because
pressure, I guess.
That's Cause being like the oldest brother. That's what I'm saying. Being the middle child, but being the oldest brother, that's, and then having the oldest sister on top of that, that sucks.
Terrible
That
combo.
sucks. Cause then if your oldest, your sister says something, and you're just like no, and it's just yeah. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like you're the father figure after the father. So whatever you don't do that the father didn't do, you get punished for, even if it's not really your fault. But at the same time, I mean, when your siblings get older, they start really appreciating you more. Cause like, especially depending on what you did though. Depending on what you did, hey, I was not the best sibling, but I somehow became one of the most loved siblings. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't. There was a lot of times where stuff would go wrong, and I would have nothing to do with it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I was the perfect child. Of course I was not the perfect child. Sometimes, yeah, I would do some dumb stuff, but it would never be. I was always smart enough to never do something very dumb. You know what I'm saying? But there was times that I would take the fall because something happened or whatever, and they just immediately like try to blame me because there was like the younger brother. Oh, he's too young. He doesn't understand. He would never do nothing like that. He, you know what I'm saying? He's just a baby. And the other sibling, oh, she knows better than that. She would never do that because she's older. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like as if like me growing up, whenever some stuff would go wrong, somebody could be missing $20, or like my grandma's fish one day died or something like that. She didn't see it in the fish tank, and she thought I killed her fish or some shit. Like I feel like sometimes you just gotta take it on the chin. You just gotta be like, all right, no matter what it is, you just gotta just accept the fact that they're just gonna blame you for being, you know what I'm saying? Just blame you because like they got nothing else to blame it on, no one else to blame it on. You feel me? That's what I feel like the middle child is. I feel like the middle child is always the forgotten child, and that's why people think that they're the worst ones. They always turn out to be the most problematic.
Let me tell you a nice little story about my younger brother. On my second semester. First semester, I had to take out like the little Pell Grant loan or whatever. Second semester, I got like a scholarship, right? The scholarship was gonna pay for my whole second semester. My younger brother was addicted to Fortnite. So when I came to visit home for like the weekend from college, when I went to sleep, he took my debit card and he used up all of my tuition on Fortnite.
Are you dead ass?
Yes. A full tuition. That's over $1K. That's like $2,000-$3,000 on a Fortnite game. And his punishment was like a little slap on the wrist. And then I had to work study. It's a thing called work study where you work after class for like, you know, a good 2-3 hours. It's not that bad. And they pretty much pay you full time. Somehow they gave me like a really sweet job though. So it wasn't too bad, but it was the fact that I lost time that I was gonna spend like hanging out with my friends because I had to work over like over the weekends as well. The job wasn't too bad, which was the good part, but the time I wasted doing the job sucked because you can't get time back, but you can get money back, which, yeah. But you know, ever since then, I've hated Fortnite. That's why when people say, hey, you want to play Fortnite? I say, no, I'm good. Yeah, I try not to bash Fortnite or anything, but I'm just saying, like, that's an experience that I just can't forget. And playing Fortnite is a reminder that I lost so much money. From a game I didn't play.
I'm so sorry for that. I will say this though. I used to get money, you know what I'm saying, in high school and all that stuff. I'd find ways to get money. But I remember one of my first paychecks from Basic, on my account, my brother spent, I told him for his birthday he could spend $100, right? because it was like my PlayStation was connected to my wallet, right? And his account was also connected to my card and everything. And I told him he could spend $100. While you know how every Sunday we can get that phone call or we could text on our phone for like a little bit, 30 minutes sometimes. I told him he could spend $100. That was it, $100. He ends up spending $1,500 on a bunch of stuff he doesn't even play anymore. He bought like WWE. He bought stuff for like DC Universe. He was just buying stuff. He was buying V-Bucks, VC for 2K. He was just on a shopping spree, and I can't do nothing because I'm in basic training. I didn't know he spent it until the next Sunday. I go check my bank account, and all that money was gone. You don't understand. And then I was upset so much to the point where I didn't even want to talk to him for a while. And I still called him though. I called him. I was like, why did you spend so much? Da, 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 da. All he had to say was, I'm sorry, I didn't know I spent that much.
That is terrible.
Yeah, and my mom, I don't even know if my mom did anything because I wouldn't have known because I was in basic.
Yeah, that is the power of being a middle child right there. You have a younger brother spend money that they shouldn't be spending.
Exactly. And then when you get mad, it's like I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, no punishment. Nope.
I'm the bad guy. I should have just let him take all my money. It's fine. It's cool. I understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? The money I earned, I'm going, I'm waking up 4 o'clock in the morning to go work out in the rain. It's 20 degrees outside. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Our parents are.
It's awesome. And I still have all the stuff that he bought. It's all on my account. He didn't even buy it on his account. He bought it on my account, and he don't play on my account because he has his own. So why the hell did he buy it?
You wanted to surprise you. Hey, you wouldn't buy it, so I bought it for you.
Boy,
on your account so you can play.
I was so upset. And then you won't believe how much money he spent on DC Universe.
Or is that game still? Does that game?
Apparently, they still have.
Now, or is it?
Oh no, it's still going. Apparently, they have a good community. I guess.
I actually just asked my friend about. I said, "Is DC Universe still running?" And he said, "I don't know." Man, that is.
Man, I understand. If he played, if he would have spent a little bit extra, if I would have said $100 and he would spend $150, even $200, I would have been. You know what I'm saying? I would have been fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that much. But the fact that he spent all of 2 paychecks, back-to-back paycheck, that's 4 weeks worth of paychecks. There's 9 weeks in basic training. That means half of my week, right, half of my paycheck went to games that I don't play.
You got 50% of what you needed.
Half of my basic training is gone. It was just gone. It was just gone. And all I got was I'm sorry, I didn't know I spent that much. I was highly upset. But at the same time, I wasn't even too mad.
I don't say bad things about my siblings unless I have to. I just say, hey, they are different people, and I talk to them when I need to. They somehow hit me up every other day. I'm like, man, wow, you guys have kind of made my life a lot harder, and now y'all all just constantly keep bothering me about stuff I can't fix. When I get off of work, I look at my phone. I try to get home as fast as possible so I don't have to have any conversation in front of other people with my siblings. Because 9 times out of 10, when they call me, they're going to tell me some problem that they know I can't fix that they just want to tell me about. Because I don't know. I think they're just telling me about their life and all that. So, I have a pretty good relationship with them now. But yeah, it only took them so many years to realize how to be good people. So yeah, if my siblings can change, and I've had really awful siblings, I know other people that are just terrible people can change. Because,
So
Yeah.
I'm guessing because you said that you believe people can change, right?
No, I mean like it's inevitable. Everyone can change. Everyone constantly is gonna change if the right situation arises. So someone who's really toxic, unless they get like that toxic effect of them screwing up, and they really get like a punishment that forces them to self reflect, they're probably not gonna change because they know they can get away with what they're doing. But if they do get punished or something like that, depending on how severe it was and how much they just didn't like it and they don't want it to happen again, they'll change for the better. So, yeah, just gotta be the right situation for someone to change.
The sad thing for me is, I'm not gonna lie, I don't speak to my family often. Number one, anybody in my immediate family, I don't speak to them off rip. I don't. They're all. They all have the same mindset. They all stay in the same place their entire life. Well, not all of them. Most of them stay in the same place their entire lives. Most of them do the same thing. Most of them are all people I try not to be around anymore, But no matter how much it is, I always felt like a nuisance, kind of, to my siblings, kind of. Not a nuisance per se, more like I felt unwanted for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I wasn't needed because I was always forgotten about, or like just not really worried for, if that makes sense. I was always the one to get blamed on. They would ever want to go watch a movie. They would go watch a movie. I remember this one day my mom, she let me go over to my friend's house or something like that. I guess I stayed over there too long, even though it was still daylight outside. I stayed over there until like 2 in the afternoon, and I guess I went over there like what 9. I don't remember the exact times. I just remember I was going upstairs, and they went to go watch a movie, and she told me just to go upstairs, and they went to go watch Annabelle, and I really wanted to watch it, and I was like, it is what it is. I'll just stay in the house by, you know what I'm saying? Stay in the house by myself. And I remember when Annabelle came out, that was like what 2013, so 10 years ago, right?
Probably.
Something like that, yeah. 2012, 2013, the first Annabelle movie ever came out. So yeah, I would have been 10. I was 10 when they went to go watch it, and they left me. And apparently they didn't only watch Annabelle; they went to some other places, I guess, too. And I was just sitting in the, you know what I'm saying, just sitting in my house just by myself. There's just moments like that, but at the same time, because of that, I had a lot more time to reflect upon myself and to think, you know what I'm saying, about think to myself. And I think that's the reason why I am the way I am today, is because of all those times I used to get left a lot, and so I used to just talk to myself a lot. And that was kind of sad, but
it reminds me of that meme I saw about the.
Which one?
It's they say it's the most disrespectful thing your family can do, is for you to go to sleep and then they go out to eat, and then when you come back they didn't bring you anything.
Boy, that sounds like a normal Tuesday night.
That is right there. That is the pain right there.
That is the pain. Boy,
You wake up and you smell it.
We all what we get to eat. What we got was this. I don't know what you're eating, but nah. Sometimes they would bring me food back. I'll always remember the times when they did. I was very grateful when they did. Sometimes they would eat while they were out, and they'll come back. I'm like, "What's for dinner?" "Oh, we already ate." I'm like, "I'm like, cool, fine. I'll go ahead and warm up some corn dogs. It's fine. It's cool. It is what it is. I got pizza rolls."
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, there's no more pizza rolls. We ate that for lunch. But nah, at the end of the day, like, my siblings, even though we all grew up at the same time, I guess you could say, we all grew up at the same time, we didn't grow up the same way. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they were cared for a little bit more. Of course, like, they were perceived to be a little bit better than I was, because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best. It was because I felt like I always tried to get attention sometimes because I wasn't getting it. But when I realized I was never gonna get it, I just stopped caring. I was like, oh, since I'm not gonna get my attention, I can go do whatever I would like to do. There would be times where I could be gone. Well, my mom would be like, come inside before the lights come on or whatever, the street lights come on. I could be out there till damn near midnight some days, and I'll go back upstairs and like nothing happened. No one would care, and it was just.
I started thinking about that, and then there was one time I got into an argument with my siblings, and they brought that fact up, and I was like, what? they was talking about that like it was a good thing, like you can go wherever you want. Yes. They won't say anything to you, and I was like, what? So y'all don't bring me no food or nothing, and you mad that I can go out where I want as long as I want. What? If I come back too late, the door is locked, and they're not gonna get up to let me in the house and not to stay with somebody's house.
What?
That's like real stuff. Like if they locked the door when I didn't get back in time, I'd have to go stay with like the neighbors or something, because they wouldn't open the door. The siblings wouldn't open the door or nothing. They'd just leave me out there, and they talk to me like that's a good thing. I was like, bro, y'all got y'all priorities messed up.
Nah, sometimes, man, it was just. Sometimes I would love to say my life was hard, but at times I realized, like the older I got, the more I realized I've had a lot more. I grew up a lot faster than I should have. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get chances to do a lot of childlike things. Well, I'll take that back. I could do childlike things, but there's a lot of stories that I would have to say. There's so much stuff that happened back in the day. I can't really like get into it because it's a lot. But like, there's so much stories. Like, I would love to have like a normal, like, you know what I'm saying, like come inside for dinner, that type stuff. I would love to have that, but
that's dead at this point. I mean, unless you become a parent yourself and make that a norm for your family. Nah, that's dead, bro. That's normal families, stuff like that. That is very rare. I mean, it's still there, but how many families do you know nowadays that do that? Like, wait till everybody's at the dinner table and eats together.
I don't even that. I remember they tried to. My mom, since my mom was a single mom, I'm not gonna say single mom the entire time. My dad was there in the picture for a while, but some stuff happened. And you know, they separated, and my mom took all three of us. And so, you know, she was a single mom and all that stuff. So every now and then she would try to do that, but sometimes that wouldn't. Sometimes that wouldn't happen. Most of the time that wouldn't happen. We would just grab our food, eat it wherever. You know, just watch TV, eat or whatever. But there's one tradition that we have that we still kind of do to the day, and it's Thanksgiving. This is the only one I really remember. Cause
so
I'm
you're
not
taking leave for Thanksgiving.
Yes, for sure. Oh, not leave, not my fault. Since it's just a 4-day, I'm just going there for the 4-day. But for Thanksgiving though, all we do, she just makes food, and we all agree on like a very like good movie like everybody wanted to watch, and then we just sit down in the living room and watch. And that's it. That's the closest thing to a tradition that we have.
Hey man, at least you have a tradition.
That's the one thing. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I never go back home for Thanksgiving nowadays, but there's a lot of people that be there. That's why I don't go back. Mm-hmm. I'm an introvert. I don't like to be around a lot of people, but at the same time, if I gotta go for Thanksgiving, I know for a fact that, bro, there be people, relatives that I don't be seeing, just show up on Thanksgiving but don't show up on Christmas. But they will all bring their own food and everything. We be in this really large house, and we never finish the food until by Christmas, like about a week before Christmas. That's when we run out of Thanksgiving food. That's how much food we're making.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes. Jeez, that went by way too fast. Way too fast. Would you like to make a part 2 to this?
Yeah, sure.
Would you like to make it today or sometime soon?
We can make it today.
Over. So
yeah.
you just want me to stop this right now? Or you just make it.
Yeah, whenever you get to like a halt, you can yeah.
Cause I would like to talk about this middle child stuff again. Cause I remember I have too many stories. But all right, guys, we're gonna call it part 1 today, right? Part 1 for right now. We're gonna make part 1, part 2 in a little bit. But I appreciate you guys for watching and everything like that. Hope y'all like it. Hope y'all like part 2. And I just dropped my stuff. That's crazy. I can't put that up like that no more. I gotta remember that now. But thank y'all for watching. This has been the Honest Hours with Hines himself and JJ.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. Hopefully y'all like JJ. And hopefully like the video. We will see you all in part 2, probably tomorrow. All right, guys. Take it easy.